All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we're breaking down the 7 principles that entrepreneur Ayman Ghazi says are the blueprint for teenagers who want to become millionaires. And let me tell you, it is a framework built on some serious discipline and a very, very specific way of looking at the world.
And right out of the gate, the stakes are, well, they're sky high. Ghazi's whole platform is built on this central claim. He hit a net worth of $1 million by the time he was just 18 years old.
You know, he's the first one to tell you this is not a typical story. He flat out calls it abnormal. He'll even say a big part of it was luck and timing. But, and this is key, he insists it was all guided by a set of core principles he followed like they were gospel.
So, to really wrap our heads around his method, we're going to organize it into 2 big themes. First, we'll get into mastering your inner game. That's all about the mental foundation. Then, we'll look at designing your outer world, which is how you actually put that mindset into action.
Okay, so let's jump into our first section, mastering your inner game. According to Ghazi, this is, without a doubt, where it all begins. You can't even think about making money or having external success until you've built the internal discipline and the mental toughness to actually handle it.
So the very first principle is this core idea of paying your dues. You got to be a pawn before you can become a king. It's all about earning your stripes. You have to start at the bottom, learn the pecking order, respect the process, and just understand that there are no shortcuts.
And he's got this great analogy. Think about a rookie on a football team. You don't just walk into the locker room and become the team captain on day one. No way. You start as the ball boy, you carry the equipment, you do the grunt work. He really believes that too many people today want to skip these crucial steps, but he argues that real, lasting success has to be built from the ground up.
His next principle is a big one, and it's all about tackling a huge danger for anyone who gets successful young: ego. He says if you find success early, you absolutely must have some kind of external force in your life that keeps you grounded and humble.
So where do you get this dose of humility? Well, he gives a few examples. Business itself, because the market doesn't care about your ego, it'll tell you exactly how good you are. Or something like combat sports, where you're just getting a raw physical test of your skills. Or even just setting ridiculously hard challenges for yourself to see if you can pull them off.
And he gets pretty personal here. He tells this story about being 17 and hiring his first employee, who then quit after only 3 days. He said the experience just totally crushed him. It made him feel like a complete failure and forced him to realize he wasn't the amazing, inspiring leader he thought he was. It was a humbling lesson, but one he says was absolutely essential for his growth.
Okay, so once you've got that inner game locked down, it's time to move on to section 2, designing your outer world. This is all about how you take that internal discipline and translate it into real-world actions. Everything from how you dress to the company you keep.
His second principle is all about perception. He basically argues that when you're young, people are just looking for a reason to discredit you, right? And your clothes can either play right into that stereotype or they can help you rise above it.
So he lays out 2 very different paths. On one side, you have dressing young. Flashy designer labels, trendy sneakers. He says that just invites people to dismiss you. On the other hand, a classic, timeless style with 0 obvious branding can actually make an 18-year-old look more mature, more credible, especially in a business meeting.
All right, next up, his advice on relationships. And let's just say it's pretty black and white. He says for a young man in his building years, as he calls them, there is absolutely no room for casual dating. He basically sees it like a super simple decision tree. You're in your building years, so you have 2 choices, and only 2. Path A is you find a serious, supportive partner who's there from the beginning, his day one. Path B is total focus, 0 distractions from dating apps, casual flings, all the stuff he sees as a massive waste of time and energy during this critical phase of your life.
And he is not shy about which path he values more. He says that a day one girl, someone who is with you from the very start, is more valuable than pretty much anything else in the world and is way more fulfilling than any fleeting casual relationship. This whole idea of focus leads perfectly into his 5th principle, which is about managing your social life. And he makes a really sharp distinction between the people you know and the people you really trust.
So here's the breakdown. Your network, your acquaintances, that can and should be huge. That's your influence. But your inner circle, your real friends, the people you trust with anything, that needs to be incredibly small, just a handful of people. He believes this is essential to protect your focus and your energy.
Okay, principle number 6 gets a little philosophical. The idea here is that getting successful is only half the journey. Keeping that success, well, that requires you to pass a kind of test of character.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? If you get arrogant, if you can't handle the pressure with humility, success can disappear just as fast as it showed up. He believes that if you don't humble yourself, the universe, or as he puts it, God, will find a way to do it for you.
And that's the perfect lead-in to our final section, the ultimate test. This is where everything we've talked about really comes together. Because, like we've been saying, making the money is one thing, but keeping it, that's the real challenge.
So, you did it. You made the money. Now what? That's the million-dollar question, literally. And for a young person who suddenly has a lot of wealth, the biggest danger is often the person staring back at them in the mirror.
His solution is actually a surprisingly simple life hack. Make your money a pain to spend. He advises you to immediately push it away from yourself, shove it into illiquid assets, things like real estate or physical gold that you can't just easily cash out on a whim. It's a system designed to protect you from your own worst impulses. And it all circles back to perception. His theory is a 19-year-old in a supercar doesn't scream impressive entrepreneur. It screams lucky kid or daddy's money. He argues it's way smarter to invest that money now and wait to enjoy the flashy stuff when you're older and you've actually earned that credibility. So when you lay it all out, all 7 of these principles, you're left with a really big question. This framework demands incredible focus, a lot of delayed gratification, and a superstructured life. So, is this a true blueprint for building wealth? Or is it kind of a cage that makes you sacrifice the experiences of being young? That's the big question to think about.